guys, back here with another Ghostrick podcast. I know that intro kind of seems, God, this man won't shut the fuck up. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Here we're talking about Julius, the man behind BakuBlox. Apparently he's taking a hiatus, and now he's a little upset, feelings hurt. Now he's coming back from a hiatus. I don't know. We're gonna talk about it. But today I have with me Peachy.
Hi.
Okay, that was the very longest hi I've ever heard.
Late.
Little fucking late, bro. Okay. Alright, well, remind me to meet you back in the parking lot later. You were supposed to read the damn script. I'm here with Sporadic. Sparkatic, I apologize. I butchered that so.
Oh, good.
And then I'm here with Chasen, which everybody knows he was here on episode 2.
Hola.
Hola, Chasen. You already know how I do this stuff. So you know how this is gonna go. The other two, this is a wild ride for them. Alright, so kind of before we begin, I did see the stuff that was placed in our group DMs. If you guys don't mind to kind of like elaborate on what was going on with those images.
Ooh, there's a lot to unpack there. A lot of it consists of image proof of a lot of our ideals being stolen outright. Julius seems to cover a lot of his tracks by deleting and just hiding messages, so it's really hard to prove a lot when he does that. So I was digging through to find whatever I could.
No, that's fair. I did see a couple with the whole model stealing and him switching up the Discord, kind of like stuff like that. I know, I just want to make this clear. I did forget to kind of say this in the beginning. This is not to send any harassment towards Julius. I'm about to say Julio again. My brain needs to be like turned back on. It's not to put any hate towards him. It's just bring stuff that he's done into perspective. That way people know what's going on. Again, don't send hate towards his way. No hate towards the BakuBlox server. I'll make that clear. So, from my understanding, he literally had come out and said that there was never a game being made. He just kind of made the screenshots for a cash grab. I don't know how to really feel about it because I didn't know really much about anything. Like I said, the only reason I know is between you guys and Klepto. I just kind of want to get your all's feeling on how you all feel about him finally admitting that there was never a game.
I honestly didn't really even know he said that. For the longest time, I've just heard that he's been trying to convince people, oh, there is a game. Promise, we'll deliver videos or pictures, and then never follows through with it. So that's what I keep hearing, is he's constantly trying to make excuses for a game that has been, 6 months delayed? I never even heard about the cash grab.
No, the only reason I heard about it, I was reading through the Google Docs that Ebby sent, and I will put it in the description down below for people to read through YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to go over to YouTube, yada yada. But you can kind of read what was said, the summarized version, and the whole layout. But that's what I had come reading towards it, that he said there was never a game to begin with. If I'm wrong, Julius, you can hit me up. We'll do a whole podcast together. I don't know. I know how she felt. Chasen, Peachy, you have anything to comment on that?
Peachy, you can go first if you want. If you have anything.
Well, I think there is a game, but the game is really not that finished. It basically began when Emily came in. That's what I know. Like the other scripter, I don't know what he did. He was basically getting paid to do nothing. I think he was scamming Julius. I don't know.
Okay. Jason, your thoughts?
I posted screenshots about this a little while ago. The 2 messages that I just randomly found in my DMs when he was trying to have a conversation with me on Project's Discord.
Right.
This is also partially involving Ebby as well, the whole Patreon issue. There's a little screenshot and I believe Sparky, you also post something in here as well about him going from there was supposed to be benefits in game for having the whole Patreon subscription.
Yep.
And then another screenshot later down the line of him changing it because it was because of Roblox TOS, which he said he knew. The only reason that announcement ever got posted was a conversation that me and Bunny had with him directly in a kind of private VC on project. They had the little bot where you can make your own VC on there.
Yeah.
His Patreon had, I want to say, 4 tiers at that time. 2 of them were, I think, $15 and $30, and then it went from there to immediately up to $70 and then $150. The $70 tier had, before we even said anything to him,
Okay.
literally just the same thing all the previous tiers had, except it had a Dragonoid skin that had 1 color region changed. That was it.
There's no way that man thought that was a good fucking Patreon tier. I'm sorry.
And I'm gonna see if I can find the screenshot of exactly what was changed. It was literally just the stomach and then
one.
oh, okay, she has it. But it was literally just the stomach and the wings changed to have like a platinum look instead of the
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly which one you're talking
That
about.
was on
I
the
saw that.
$70 tier. And then for the $150 tier, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but this is what I remember. It was like 2 custom Bakugan skins. That was it. And then again, we were going to support the game, not like pay for the Patreon or anything, but we were going to play the game. And we initially thought it looked good until we saw the similarities between that and Project, meaning models getting ripped from the Wii game, which, again, us being Project players, not really a big deal.
Right.
But later down the line, we saw a Mantris model get revealed. That looked like shit, and we kind of just, from there, we kind of just stopped and moved on. But when the whole Patreon conversation came down, we brought him into the call because we pinged him in general chat on Project because we wanted to have a conversation about them, not to talk shit on his Patreon or anything like that, but to try and help him on 2 separate instances. One, and I sent this before in the one screenshot I posted in here. We were trying to help him so that way he wouldn't get accused of scalping, because correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not counting the full $70. I'm going to count $40 to it because that's the difference between the second high or the second lowest tier, the $30 tier. That's essentially $40 for 1 skin.
Yeah.
And then for the $150, that's essentially $120 for 2 skins. We tried to have a conversation about this with him, saying, "Look, if you're going to try and avoid Roblox TOS, at least give a little bit more. That way it's not as, how do I say this, incriminating.
Yeah.
Like add something like crate keys, crates, whatever, HSP bonuses, whatever to it." He immediately started bitching, saying, "Oh, I know how to make a game good," and shit like that, when we weren't disproving that at all. And we were trying to be nice about it. And then from there, he kind of did the same thing with Ebby, where if you talk shit about his Patreon or do anything that he doesn't like, he will kind of just take it way too personally.
Yeah, no, I was about to ask that because I knew a video that Klepto had posted talking with the mod or whatever. Sorry, it's not some over. Talking about how he doesn't take much criticism very well. Like he'll just shut everybody down. Like I don't think that's a very good train of thought to have, especially if you're making a game. You want to be able to talk to your community, take criticism as much as you can.
Yeah, I like to think that people are allowed to have their own opinions, especially when it's criticism against your game that you don't need to take. You don't need to take the criticism at all. And people were being banned for this criticism when they spoke about it outside of BakuBlox as well, which is crazy to think.
I mean, I feel like to me that doesn't really giving me the option to trust you if I say one critique and then I'm just going to get banned from the entire server or the game. Like that's not giving me a very good hope for it. And then the whole Jason kind of I think you or Chasen had said it, something about the whole 6 months delaying the game, delaying the game, delaying the game. You would think he would give a warning, but if to my understanding, he never gives a warning. It's just, oh, the game's being delayed. I feel like if you're going to say, no, go ahead.
All we got after release day, I literally stayed up till 4 a.m. All we got was like, I'm gonna delay it 1 week, and then the game's gonna come out. We need to add ability cards, I think he said, or one of his devs. So that's all we basically got. Then the whole drama happened afterwards. Then yeah, basically it spiraled from there.
Oh no, we got more than that. We got more than that. If a game's being delayed, or if something small is happening, you as an owner of a game shouldn't be blaming that whole thing on the people you are paying to make your game.
Yeah, no, I mean, you shouldn't really. Because they're the ones that's giving you the money and support to do what you're doing.
I find that Julius isn't really capable of taking accountability on any note. When the game was delayed, he did not say himself that it was his fault. To the very day that it was supposed to be released, he kept telling people he was confident it was going to be released. And since Patreon were supposed to get early access, some people actually subscribed to the Patreon specifically to get early access. So his promises caused people to spend money on a game that never released.
Right. And I mean, to me, I feel like if he's not going to release this game, either give people back the money or not even or I should say, like, give the people back their money for sure, and also shut down this Patreon till you have a game in working condition. Because again, only screenshots, we never seen any real gameplay of a battle, anything like that. You're just taking people's money at this point. And that's kind of leading on to another thing that I found through the whole documents. There was a screenshot by Ebby. He would claim to be homeless now, but he has a new tattoo after just receiving money from the Patreon. Could just be me, but in my opinion, I think he took the money instead of working on the game, spent it to get what he wanted. But like, why are you not using it on the game? You're saying that you're now homeless, but you have a new tattoo within that same day. It's kind of a little suspicious to me.
Fun fact about that tattoo, and I only know this because of my personal experience. I wanted to get a like a full arm tattoo.
Right.
One from that, or for that size in detail. It's just, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just like a snake or something on his arm.
Yeah, it's just a snake.
That little detail, or depending if he gets more on that, that alone is anywhere from 12 to 1500 to $2,000.
God damn. Okay. Yeah, there's no way that you're going to say you're homeless. I'm sorry. Listen, if you're having problems, bud, understandable. But if you're spending about $2,000 on a tattoo and saying you're okay, like
not to mention, I do remember an announcement that he made. So after all of the tattoo and Patreon stuff, he made an announcement that he was working 2 jobs to try and afford to pay for the game on top of Patreon. And then not like a few days later, he sent another announcement out getting angry at general chat because they assumed he was broke. Which, I don't really know why you would get angry when people are assuming that when you say that you have to work 2 jobs to afford the game. It's safe to assume that, you might be a little less on money or on cash. But then he got angry at them. So what did he actually have the money for the game, or was he just trying to get pity points by making the first announcement about working 2 jobs?
I don't know. I do feel like it's a pity point because the whole tattoo situation. But like, you can't get mad if you're going to make an announcement. Like, I'll be honest, I've made an announcement before. I work 2 jobs. I stream. I do Twitch. I need help sometimes, and I made a whole thing about it. I wouldn't just do that for pity points. Like, if I need the help and I'm getting to that point, I'm going to make it for help, not just to get pity points, to go get money, to go get me something that's not even helping the game. Like, case in point.
Yeah, those two announcements were just very contradicting. He was getting angry that people assumed he didn't have money when he previously said that he didn't have money, so he got 2 jobs.
Jason, you good there, bud? You're a little giggling right
I
now.
don't know. This shit just makes me laugh. I'll be so honest.
Listen, man, we're not here to throw shame. I'm sorry, we're not here to throw shame on the man. We're just throwing light on him now. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's not terrible to not have money for a game. Like honestly, we at Bloxugon, we have a lot of people work for free. Obviously, we offer them money and they decline it, but still decide to work there.
Yeah.
And so we don't have the same issue with money that Julius might have when he goes and finds scripters. But it's just weird to post an announcement like that and then get angry.
No, it makes zero sense whatsoever. Like I said, I've done the same thing. Not even just because hell, I need game. Like I needed help getting a new system or new computer. Like I'm not going to contradict myself or get mad. I'm the one asking for help at the end of the day. But no, here's a fun one. And I had found this out last night through the whole chaos that was going on in the Bloxugon server. And this came from Hades. Come to find out that he only was making a game. Y'all can't see me. I'm doing quotation mark, air quotes. Because he was doing it as spite against Project. I'm like, why are you making a game just to spite another game? Like, there shouldn't be a correlation between that to have a reason for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also heard that rumor a little while ago. He was angry that Baku Project wasn't doing things right, and so he went to go make a better version of the game. And looking at it, like, he consistently steals ideas from our game. He steals ideas from Baku Project, and just in general, the Wii game. I don't really see any difference between that game and Baku Project, except Baku Project is released.
Yeah.
It's not only that, but he's also stealing the ideas that people put in the pitch ideas tab, while also not crediting them for it.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. No, I knew, and there is a little bit that I said down here before where he steals, like your all's ideas and assets that you put, especially on the wheel where you guys have the 3 Bakugan. Left hand side's the gate cards, right hand side's the ability cards, where he had copied it but changed it a little bit. I know he's been stealing that kind of concepts. So I mean, the only thing I've seen, I didn't know about the whole suggestion thing too. You just said something about it, Jason.
Yeah.
But going based off concept art, apparently he would show the same concept art or the same thing he'd shown before, counting it as a new sneak peek for his Patreon supporters, never showing any gameplay. Also just showing NPCs on top of that, calling them sneaks. Like, oh, here's a new random NPC for you guys to fight. Like, I don't know about you all, but I can't support a game like that. If I'm never going to be able to see any gameplay to let me know the game works, yes, I see you using an attack animation. You're battling an alt account of yours, yada yada. But I need to be able to see a gate card thrown, Bakugan standing, battle going, ending, all in one little section. Like, you can't just do little snippets here, have NPC every few sneaks to get people in behind your game. Like, I know for me especially, I don't know how I can be invested in that when I'm not being able to see any gameplay going on.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen him reuse sneaks in a way. The sneaks, as of recently with the UI, he essentially grabbed UI from very long time ago and maybe 2 weeks ago, just mixed them together and he called it a new UI. Then went on hiatus, and then I had that conversation with him when he was confronting me about why I shared his messages. I sent a reply. He blocked me after that reply and then sent a completely new UI that almost directly looked like ours.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of referencing earlier, because I know that in Klepto's video and the screenshots that were shared to me, that both UIs look pretty much similar. Yes, he kind of changed it in a way, but he still used the same concept at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah, I was Sorry.
You're good. You're good. You
I
can go
was
ahead.
able to watch Klepto's video, and he did mention that he had the design in his shop, but it wasn't used for the exact same reason that ours was used. We cut half the circle off, and we used it purely for our battle system in a completely new way. And that new function for that specific design was not used by Julius until after he blocked me. I'm assuming because he was just angry with me. And if it really came down to design-wise, the source material did come from Bakugan themselves, so the design is not unique. It is the way that we used it.
Okay. Peachy, I did kind of see you unmute there. Did you want to add something into this conversation?
His sneaks, they're really, really bad, especially the NPC ones, because he sneaks them, and apparently, if the game released, they would release like a week later or something. I don't know. So why was he sneaking them if they weren't gonna even be in the base game? That really annoys me.
Oh, okay. So the NPCs that he was showing were not even in the base game. Okay, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, I think that he mentioned it in an FAQ or something somewhere. Everything got deleted. I don't really have any photos, but yeah, it was mentioned.
Okay, no, you're good. Like I said, and I've told you all this. I've never joined the server of his at all. So if I ever do, it may just to be post this podcast. See how long it takes to get shut down. But other than that, kind of just more on the stuff here, because we talked about stealing the assets from Bloxygun. I can't even speak today, guys. This is what happens when you work 8 hours. I knew he would join your all's server just to either promote his game and to steal your layouts for each bots or channels, and then when y'all would confront him about it, he would act childish in a way. I guess that's how I understood he acted. If you guys could just clarify on that as well.
Basically.
Yeah, totally. So he came to us. We did not know Julius. We didn't know BakuBlox. He looked for our server. When he joined, he immediately advertised his game with links and everything, which is against our rules. We have the rules posted in our server. We took it down, and then our scripter detective went to his DMs to tell him, it wasn't allowed. You knew what you were doing. And then in my announcements channel, you can see how Julius responded to that. It was very childish,
Right.
just not mature at all. And shortly after all that went down, he left our server immediately after he realized he couldn't advertise.
I mean, that makes sense. You guys have rules, but at the same time, why would you leave just because you can't advertise? And then on to the fact, if you could just give me an example of what he had stole from your all's Discord layout.
The server itself or the game ideas?
Either or. If you want, we can start with the server ideas and then go from the game ideas.
Server ideas, it was very like one-off-ish. We had a server from 2020 because that's when our project originally started. A lot of the bots and channels were very outdated and stopped working, so a lot of people were locked off having access to a lot of our channels.
Okay.
There's also a lot of new Discord features that we want to incorporate into our server. So we did revamp our server completely. And not even the day after, Julius revamped his server directly identical to ours. Which, he could have done it any day, any month of the year, but he did it directly after us.
Right. Like, that's not going to be suspicious whatsoever. Because if you're doing it exactly right after you guys have done it, like, okay, sure, buddy, you're totally not making it obvious. And then you had asked me if I was talking about game idea, game design or whatever. Do you mind what are you talking about in that scenario?
There have been a lot of instances where he's taken our game ideas. When we sneak things in our server, he will take that idea and reuse it. Unfortunately, a lot of the proof of that has been deleted to cover his ass.
Okay.
One of the strong arguments that I had is cell shading. You can see in this chat I posted a picture a little while ago.
Yep.
We decided to try a cell shade on all of our models because it suited the style in which I was making them. And then Julius posted a poll not too long after asking the same thing. And this cell shading has never been done in any other Bakugan game. Not that I've seen of. So it was completely unique to us, and the way that I did it was specific for Roblox, because Roblox has a lot of loopholes you have to jump through because they don't have actual shaders.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a lot of copied things. The second thing was all of our cinematics and cutscenes. Julius did post a short cinematic of Preyus with an umbrella model, but that camera animation was purely through scripts, like tweening.
Okay.
And I'm assuming it was an entrance. Once we started showing our new revamped system with animated camera from Blender, he started doing the same thing. Like a lot of his sneaks turned into animation sneaks, featuring camera animation and movement. And obviously, it's not directly from us, but he only started showing it after us.
Gotcha. Kind of just going based off that. Jason, I know you are really helping out in this game through being the balance team, making the ability cards and stuff like that. With you making these custom ability cards, let's say for El Condor, Siege, and stuff, have you seen Julius ever like go in there and kind of use the same concept?
What do you mean concept?
So you know how you're making, let's say, the El
Yeah.
Condor abilities right now. Have you ever seen him kind of use the same ideas or maybe tweak it to his own?
He hasn't actually copied any of the cards we made, if that's what you're
don't think
meaning.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
think
I'm
we
meaning.
released that as public information, though.
I knew
Yeah.
there was like polls and stuff that you were doing.
Well, yeah, I was creating polls just to see what people thought about the cards, because
Okay.
a lot of the effects, or at least most of them are just polls. I just like to see what people like for the cards. If they don't like it, that's whatever. But if it's for like I'm gonna for the Pyrus one that I made for El Condor, because
Right.
I was on the fence with it. That one I did want to do a poll on to see which one people would want. So that one was the only one where the community actually impacted the decision of it because I was on the fence with it. But for custom cards, at least on the shit that Julius has posted before, because there was a couple of scenes where he did post a lot of custom cards. They're literally just already existing cards, but it looks like he took the issue that the dub had, where like for instance, Oregano Revenge, it had like 4 separate names in season 1 when the English dub. It had Oregano Murder was the original name. That was the Japanese name.
Right.
Oregano Revenge was the English translation to Oregano Murder Oregano. Then it had Spice Slayer and Spiced Assault.
Okay.
And then a few other names. That's really the only thing he's really done for custom, and I wouldn't even consider it custom. But for the effects though, or the card art, I'm gonna bring up this something. I don't have this screenshotted, but if you go up to one of Julius's posts, because I know it's still in his post somewhere, he posted a screenshot of a bunch of different card arts and shit like that. The one in particular, and I made this comment, and I'm gonna show a little clip too, because I had a recording for a certain something I'm gonna bring up here in a second. Literally, I want to say, not even a week after Project released the update that we're currently in right now.
Yeah.
It's either for Power Charge or Ring of Flames. I can't remember which one. I'm pretty sure actually it's for Power Charge. You know the card art for Power Charge on there, right?
Yeah, on Project, yeah.
Yeah. Julius, when he released his like a bunch of different pictures of different cards, there's one in particular. I don't know if it's Power Charge or not, but it's basically one for one the exact same art.
Okay.
And here's the funny thing. I know this because I directly spoke to Dev about this because I had a conversation. I was wondering where the card art came from. It's AI generated. So what happened was, at least from the looks of it on Julius End, he took the same picture and tried to have an AI reanimate it.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. And I'm gonna share my screen here in a second too. This has nothing to do with cards or anything like that. This is Bakugan model specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Julius at one point left his model open. Like it was a different instance for his quote unquote game. He had all of his models lined up in a world, and a bunch of other different miscellaneous shit, which sadly are not in the clip, but it was like gate card effects, just random trees all over the place, and random aura effects, which a couple of them are in the clip. He left it open to the public by accident.
Oh, okay.
And I managed to get in there, and I recorded a clip. I'm gonna show that clip now.
Okay.
Let me hold on. I have to see if I can tab it. I'm gonna have to just share my entire screen. Damn it. Okay, hold on. Don't mind the background. I'm playing Epic 7.
Oh, not Epic 7.
Also, another thing I'm gonna point out. You know how Project earlier, in its early stages when Gorham was added, he didn't T-pose. And then when Project updated the game, he did T-pose. Gorham did not T-pose in the Wii game at all. This was recorded just under a week of when Project updated, which gave Gorham his little T-posing thing. This is the model area for BakuBlox. I'm not gonna fucking like sit here and watch the entire thing. I'm just gonna skim through so you can see.
Good.
But
a little bit.
You first off, and this is a pet peeve I have with Project personally. Base Hydra should have already been in the game because his model is in the little character selection screen. This is the exact same model from that character selection screen. It is different from the Wii game. Or at least pose-wise, it's different.
Okay.
But from the looks of it, he literally just copied. This is not what Subterra Hydronoid's supposed to look like, by the way. Because we do know what the color scheme's supposed to be.
Right.
But from the looks of it, he kind of just took everything from the Wii game, or the ones he couldn't from Project, and recolored them. Because this has the exact same color scheme as Darkest Dragonoid does in Project.
There you go. Full screen that way people saw this up there a little bit. Yep.
And it keeps going. Not only that, but this was just a little small mistake that I found absolutely hilarious. You know how Siege has different weapons and different attributes, right?
Correct.
For the longest time, he kept this, and he didn't change it until, I want to say, very, very recently with a sneak, because people were mentioning to it. He didn't know that Siege had different weapons and the different attributes, because originally in this model area, Siege was shown in all the attributes in here, but they all had the exact same weapon, and it was specifically the Ventus one.
Okay. Interesting.
I can't remember if it's in this clip. Okay, it partially is. Right there's the staff. It's a little hard to tell, but you can see the arrowhead. He had that for all 6 of the attributes.
Oh my god.
And again, it's not shown in the clip, but further this way, I don't know if my mouse is showing, he had a whole area where he was showing gate card effects, and I brought this up whenever, I want to say this fairly recently, whenever Duck and Spark were implementing this little thing. One of the gate card effects in specific was also 1-to-1 with Bloxagon. And it was specifically the Aqua's gate card. The only difference was for his, it had little lily pads with flowers or like a little boat floating around. That was the only difference.
Good to know, good to know. Kind of, you know, not too obvious that it's stolen, but...
Yeah, some things more obvious than others. I would say it's hard to make an Aqua's gate card open too much differently, so I won't like put too much pressure on that. I just know
Yeah.
that's very specific things you can tell are stolen.
No, yeah, that does make sense. I know Julius doesn't like his whole critique. We talked about that kind of earlier on in here. There was clips that he would show the whole extra sneak peeks or whatever. He wouldn't take criticism, to my understanding. Pardon me there. That Klepto had made a vid on the game talking about how bad it was and that what he wanted Julius to do in order to kind of get everybody into the game. He had taken the vid down from the whole influencer chat and removed the influencer role from Klepto. And to top all of that, the BakuBlox server would take Julius aside and talk shit about Klepto for just him speaking his opinion, showing what was wrong with BakuBlox and what was going on with Julius entirely. I don't know how you can really allow that to go on. You're literally having an influencer make a video on a game. Yes, it was bad, as not like bad video, it was just bad in critique. Yes, he's trying to help you out is at the end of the day. He's not like, oh, your game sucks, you need to do this, that. Like, no, at the end of the day, Klepto was trying to at least show you what was wrong and try to help out at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Like,
if I were in his shoes, obviously, a video directly against Bloxugon would hurt a little, but it's up to the owners to responsibly take that criticism and just either take it or not take it.
mm-hmm.
Because, you can't control someone's opinion, or you can't control just the good and then remove the bad.
Right. Pardon me there. I'm getting a little bit of cough. Just kind of round this off. There was a whole screenshot between a debate of Julius and Ebby about Ebby wanting. I think we talked about this earlier. Where Ebby wanted a refund through her Patreon, but he would count it as a donation rather than a product. That way, he didn't have to give her a refund, but later would change his mind because Ebby would go and say she would report him to Roblox for breach of contracts due to him gifting things, including in his Patreon. But I'm like, if she wants a refund, just give her a refund, because at the end of the day, you just backpedaling, making an excuse not to give her a refund is just a bad defamation of character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we do have screenshots of that in this chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with the Patreon like at all, because he's taking money from people, which makes the game less about a passion project and more of an obligation. When you start taking money from people with promises of returning something to them, you have an obligation to follow through. And Julius hasn't really done any of that. Even if it took this long to get the game out, he still hasn't been transparent or, sharing information or updating any of these people on anything. And when Ebby wanted the refund for the Patreon, he kind of called her annoying.
Yeah.
And that was the reason he did not want to refund her. Which I think is a bit crazy. And then she blocked him.
Mm-hmm.
And finally unblocked him when he was willing to refund her because he got backlash from his community for not refunding her.
Okay. So I knew about the what he had said to her, but I was thinking it may have been before or after the whole counting it as a donation. Because the screenshot, like I said, all it was talking about was he was trying to count it as a donation. She went to go confront him and report him to Patreon and all of that, or not even Patreon, just Roblox, and that's what got him into giving her a refund. I didn't know about the whole server was getting after him. He said this to Ebby, so on and so forth. I didn't know about all that.
Yeah, he promised quite a lot with his Patreon. One of the screenshots here says that they would have gotten, extra data slot, extra in-game currency. They were going to get early access, so it convinced a lot of people to buy the Patreon that would not have if it was purely a donation. And this was in the middle of it all. And then after the fact, he changed the Patreon to now say that it's just a donation. So essentially, it's more covered up information from the past that he's trying to hide to save himself.
Right. Which, I mean, that's not a good look. You should have just left it because people can just screenshot at the end of the fucking day. Like, yeah, this is what it was supposed to be in there. They can still use it against him no matter what you change. This is what was shown in a screenshot. I can just go and say, this is what he had promised me as soon as I joined. I feel like they can still take him for that no matter what he changes throughout his tiers of Patreon.
Yeah, it's just without those screenshots, it would be your word against his, which is the case for a lot of things.
He even asked for like an extra 400 to pay his dev to like finish the game. Yeah, I sent a screenshot in this group chat where it showed that he
I'll
asked
reply to it.
for 400 to like finish the game basically, or his old dev before he got Emily, so that old dev could finish. You know.
Okay, I don't know why I kind of zoomed in there because they can't see the way I got everything zoomed in. But it's pretty much what he was talking about. I understand there might be a lot to take in, stuff like that. I mean, just try to kind of do this. We'll see a little bit of my server, but it'll be okay at the end of the day. That way you guys can kind of read it. I feel like it's more important that you guys get to kind of read what Peachy is talking about. But I'll leave it up there. I really don't have really much left on the whole situation. Kind of just everybody's answered everything that I needed. If you guys would like to say anything to Julius, if he was watching right now, you guys can say whatever you would like. Peachy, would there be anything you would like to say to Julius?
One thing. Release the gameplay video. It'll solve all your issues. And basically trust Emily more to do more things, host more stuff, which I think he's doing. So that's one step in the right direction, I guess.
Okay. Jason, would you like to say anything to him?
One thing. Well, okay, it's multiple parts.
Go ahead.
Take the criticism. Keep some originality. And please, for the love of fucking God, don't stall your shit more than you need to. If you are having trouble, say that. Don't glaze your own game, because that right there was your own undoing. Saying that the game was going to come out by a specific date is an issue that no game company has ever done unless they can 100% guarantee it's dropping that day.
Right, and then if I do say your name wrong one more time, I apologize. Sporadic. If you I hope I said I'm making sure I say it syllable by syllable.
It's Sparkatic. It's all good.
Sparkatic. Thank you. I will get it right one of these days. If it's a fucking 3 podcasts later. If you have anything you would like to say to Julius, please, come on.
Just no more avoiding. No more cutting corners. It's time to take accountability for everything that you've said, everything that you've stolen. Just admit it. You keep trying to hide things and it's not working. A lot of people are seeing through it and it's causing a lot of people to distrust you. You need to be transparent with your community, tell them what's going on. I've been there. I am a full-time Roblox developer and I've been in a position where you were before, where a project struggles to get off the ground. But getting your community to trust you is the best thing possible, and you need to stop stealing ideas and making original ones.
Alrighty. Excuse me again. I'm pretty much, this whole podcast is gonna be either me saying okay, or cough cough. That's literally what it's been. I've been just fucking choking here, bro. I'm fucking dying. Want to thank you all again for joining me on this podcast. I know I said it earlier in DMs, but I just want to give a verbal thank you as well.
Yeah, happy to help.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like again,
thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Again, I want everyone watching this. This is to shed light on what Julius is doing. I don't want to see any hate sent to him. None of that. If I see anybody in my community going to send hate, you will be blocked from this channel. Just case in point. I don't care what this man's done, what he will be doing. He don't deserve us going and flocking to his server, messing up mods, doing all that. He just deserves to have what he's done brought into light. He needs to be able to be changed for the better. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to go check out everybody in this podcast. I'll link their channels down below, and I'll also link down everything that we have talked about down below as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.